Hello, my name is Kfir Azoulay, and I'm the head of corporate strategy at Heidelberg Engineering. I also serve on the board of directors of several ophthalmic companies, including Medisoft in the UK, Implant Data in Germany, and Gauss Infomed in China. And I have recently had the privilege and pleasure to participate once again in the Glaucoma Research Foundation New Horizon Forum, which was titled this year Innovate Without Borders. And I think the GRF does a phenomenal job every year in bringing together prominent researchers, glaucoma specialists, and industry members to discuss innovation in the glaucoma space and also to better understand how such innovation is likely to unfold, both commercially and clinically in the years to come. And this year's meeting, being the first virtual meeting, in light of the circumstances, was set against the backdrop of the challenging year we've been experiencing due to the COVID pandemic. And it was exciting to see and appreciate the resilience of the different stakeholders in the glaucoma space and how, despite, or maybe because of these adversities, we were able to make progress and tackle some of the new challenges we've been confronted with as a result of the COVID pandemic. So the Heidelberg Engineering iExplorer 2, or HiEx2 for short, is one of the most advanced ophthalmic healthcare IT products on the market. And what it does, on top of serving as the operating system for the various Heidelberg Engineering devices, it also allows clinicians to centralize all patient data in an organized fashion and to securely access such data and also share the data across different locations or devices. So by facilitating data exchange and offering links and integration to EHRs and other clinical applications, it significantly improves the workflow in the practice. And the other great thing about HiEx2 is that thanks to its robust PACS capabilities, it allows the display of diagnostic imaging data also from third-party devices. So for example, a glaucoma specialist can now easily upload, view, and compare, let's say, visual fields data alongside other critical information like optic nerve head imaging or RNFL assessment or segmented posterior pole or with asymmetry maps and so on and so forth. So having this ability can potentially help clinicians arrive at more accurate diagnoses and staging of the disease, while also saving time and increasing the overall efficiencies and throughput in their practices. So the ophthalmology space has been severely impacted by the COVID pandemic. Right? Firstly, because ophthalmology represents one of the busiest and most heavily outpatient-oriented specialties, given that the majority of ophthalmic surgical procedures are elective in nature, like refractive surgery and cataract surgery. And secondly, because a significant portion of the patients are older and with greater risk of comorbidities. So this resulted in the cancellation of thousands and thousands of ophthalmic clinical visits and surgeries. And this is even without considering what I call the invisible impact, such as the delays in new case findings. And this is something that will certainly reverberate through the ophthalmic healthcare system in years to come. I mean, it's a price that we will still pay. But I don't want to dwell only on the negative aspects because, there are a lot of those. And I believe that they have been discussed ad nauseum in the media. But there is a well-known adage that I believe is attributed to Plato, if I'm not mistaken, that necessity is the mother of all invention. And I think this difficult year has really forced all of us to innovate and find new ways to allow clinicians to continue providing eye care services despite the restrictions and limitations of COVID. And this year has also forced us to reevaluate many of the entrenched notions and ideas as to how things should be done. So I'm actually quite optimistic that we will emerge out of this crisis in a better shape than how we went into it. So our strategy at Heidelberg Engineering has always focused on integrating digital tools that help clinicians and improve workflow. And this is one of the reasons why we also acquired a PACS company nearly 10 years ago and an EMR company 3 or 4 years ago. And I think what happened now is that the COVID pandemic has essentially catapulted us further down the timeline and precipitated events that were likely to occur anyway in the first place, like the greater digitalization of practices in ORs, remote diagnosis, remote disease management, using new predictive algorithms that allow us to identify higher risk patient cohorts, the incorporation of digital wearables, and so on and so forth. So the rollout of HIX2 comes actually at an opportune moment for us because it helps physicians tackle these new challenges that we're all being presented with during the pandemic. But that being said, we are also cognizant of the fact that this comes with a very high price that the pandemic has inflicted on our communities. I mean, starting with a profound human toll worldwide, and all the collateral damage that came along with it. But our role, as Heidelberg Engineering, as a leading member of the ophthalmic industry, is to work side by side with our customers, the clinicians, the researchers, the ophthalmic technicians, the ophthalmic nurses, and all the other stakeholders I'm neglecting to mention right now, in order to be able to continue diagnosing and treating patients even under these highly adverse circumstances.